Hello and welcome. This is Cricbuzz Live. We're here with you today, all day, on day one of the Super 12s here in the World Cup. The first game, the second game is England and Afghanistan that we're going today. But before that, let's talk about Australia and New Zealand, which is the first game that's just wrapped up. It's wrapped up a little earlier than we thought. It's because Australia couldn't play their 20 overs. That's right. Couldn't play them. That's right. Nelson, gone. 3 sticks. 1-1-1. All out chasing 200. That's what New Zealand had put on the board. They had batted first after Finch told them to do that. Really was not Australia's day today. Defending champions off to a really sorry start, and New Zealand off to a flying start. I'm Gaurav Kapur here on Cricbuzz Live. With me, Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle joining us from Australia. And let's get Harsha's reaction in first. As you look out of your window in Australia, are people crying on the streets, Harsha?
Exclusive.
Breaking news.
No.
But
you said they could. You said they couldn't play 20 overs. It would make sense, even if it sounds harsh, if you didn't use the last 2 words, because this was very strange performance from Australia. You look down that list. There are some huge names, some stars down that list. And you would never have guessed that if you had seen them play today. It was a strange performance. The top scorer was Maxwell, who God made right-handed, but who was on a mission to become left-handed.
Oh, that's so amazing that you just... I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you here. We have had this conversation while watching the game. And I have said to Ajay Jadeja, Virender Sehwag and Joy Bhattacharya and Tane, I have said that out of all the coaches and analysts, why has nobody told him that, buddy, you're a left-hander? That's how you hit all your sixes. That's crazy.
Where does his power come from? Yeah. His power comes from being a right-hander.
Yeah.
Occasionally, his power comes from being a left-hander, which is a shot I do not like, because I think it's unfair to the bowler, because you don't allow the bowler to bowl left-handed. But that's another story completely. So he connects one. I would love for someone to show to Glenn Maxwell the result of him being left-handed when nature made him right-handed.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't understand that. I think they're struggling with Finch at the top. It was a very strange performance. Look at Tim Southee's bowling figures. 3 for 6. 3 for 6. And it just reminded me once again, at the start of the, just before the start of the T20 World Cup, I said Warner and Stark are their key players if they have to go ahead and win. And I'm just thinking down the World Cup. I know Mitch Marsh can go for it. Marcus Stoinis can go for it. But if David Warner is not scoring runs, it's looking a bit grim.
Let's look at the bowling also for New Zealand, because today they really, like you're talking about Tim Southee, Santner's been amazing today. Santner bowled in the power play. You thought, oh my God, Mitch Marsh is really going to take him apart. And probably did also got a few runs in that first over. But look at the comeback that he has had. And of course, then Southee as well.
Well, Southee's been absolutely fantastic. Ever since he's come back into their T20 team, I think he's been absolutely superb. On point, getting wickets. Look, they got an early break with Warner. That kind of wicket is it happens once in 100 times.
Yeah.
Your ball hitting here, there, everywhere. It was literally like one of those boards and then hitting the stumps. But otherwise, if you see, there are some things which are not Australian. Like today, ending in 17.1 overs. And look at the last 2 batsmen. What Zampa was trying to hit, what Pat Cummins was trying to hit. You have 18 balls left, okay? This is a league tournament. That means run rate may become a factor, okay? And you are throwing away your wickets. You're not even trying to finish your quota of overs. That's extremely unprofessional.
Yeah.
Anyone who's a coach of Australia looking at that and saying, what are you guys trying to do?
Do you think this qualifies to be called a brain fade? Naughty.
I don't know. It's easy to say that from a distance, but there's enough experience there. I'll tell you what this is going to do for Australia. It's going to create a clamour for getting Steve Smith back into the side. Now, who does Steve Smith come back into the side for if he has to? Australia bowled Marcus Stoinis for 4 overs, because just as Maxwell doesn't realize that he's a right-hander in a left-hander in a right-hander's body, or a right-hander in a left-hander's body, I don't know. I think someone's got to remind Mitch Marsh that he's an all-rounder too.
Yeah.
He cannot. Mitch Marsh bowls about three overs a season or something.
Yeah.
Now, if Mitch Marsh doesn't bowl, they have to keep on playing Marcus Stoinis. It was a, what's the word I'm searching for?
Pika, sir. The word in Hindi is pika, right?
Exactly the word. Insipid.
Insipid. Nice. I like that. Yeah, it was a very insipid performance from Australia, but it's easy for us to focus on the defending champions and what they've done wrong today. But let's not take the focus away from New Zealand, because it was their batting effort that put this pressure on Australia. And at the same time, their bowlers came out with, of course, the wind in their sails was the fact that they had 200 on the board. But it was a very good bowling performance, Joy.
Absolutely. And see, on a pitch like this, they played with two spinners. Their spinners bowled well, and this is going to be a big sign. Anyone playing now in Sydney will look at it and say, look at what Santner has done. And it wasn't that easy to hit Santner.
Yeah.
It wasn't that easy. He was swept once or twice by Mitch Marsh, but it wasn't easy. Ish Sodhi also. If you're keeping the ball in the right places and they're not being able to tonk you over your own head, then it becomes increasingly difficult to hit spinners in Sydney.
Yeah.
And we were seeing that. But as I said, where is Australia going with this? The point was not just about, what happened. You're going to have bad days. It happens in cricket. But it was the way they had the bad day. It was pointless in the way they batted.
Yeah.
And that is something that you don't associate with Australia. You associate them, they lose like every other team loses. But you don't have them just giving up the game like the way they did today.
Yeah, that's what has been so un-Australian about it. Yeah, uncharacteristic from Australia there. But let's talk about Mitch Santner's bowling, Harsha. In the comm box, we were talking about the fact that the balls he was bowling, some of the balls that he bowled, the loop, the speed was so slow. I think they left his hand yesterday and reached the batter today.
He's a very, very crafty bowler. He comes to India every year for 2 months, improves his golf and goes back to New Zealand and becomes a bowler again.
Yeah, true.
And he's an excellent cricketer. And I love the way he was bowling today, pinging some odd balls in. And as you said, some really slow coming up. He's a very crafty bowler. When I talked the other day, I was talking to Dooley and I said, yes, Tim Pringle. I think you guys are going to make a move on Tim Pringle. You're probably going to annex Tim Pringle. Yeah. And he said, is he better than Santner? And sometimes when players have been around for a long time, you get excited by new players and say, oh, wow, look at this new kid on the block. But Santner showed today that, he conceded 8 and over. If my spinner is going to give me more than 2 wickets, conceding 8 and over, I'm putting him in my team every single day. And then Ish Sodhi, of course, benefited from what Maxwell was doing. But he's got 1 for 29. Since the last World Cup, no country has used its spinners better than New Zealand has in terms of strike rate, economy rates, and number of wickets they've taken. And who are these people we don't talk about very much?
Yeah,
Southee, Santner and Sodhi. And once again, they did it today, 4 for 60 in 8 overs.
Another thing we were discussing was that when you look at this New Zealand bowling lineup, you have Trent Boult, left arm, quick, Tim Southee, right arm, Lockie Ferguson then, 145 pace, Mitchell Santner, left arm finger, Ish Sodhi, right arm leg. This is almost like the perfect buffet menu.
Yeah, they have everything, and the big question was Milne, Ferguson. How many of them do you play? Do you play Milne again and don't play the extra spinner? They've looked at Sydney. They said, okay, if there's a ground in Australia where you're going to play 2 spinners consistently, Sydney's the place. And they didn't. They used it really well. But again, as I said, this is basically the performance came from what we call the IPL golfing 11. Because all these guys come to India, play golf and go back. So all the bowlers. Ish Sodhi also spends enough time playing golf.
That's right. Yes, he does.
Yeah, so that's exactly what you have.
No. Ish Sodhi is now
consultant.
He is now part of the management team.
Yeah,
Rajasthan.
I think last IPL, not this one. He was part of the management team.
That's who plays golf. Workers don't play golf. It's a management team. Plays golf.
That's where the deals happen. Man, you got the deals happening on the golf course. Come on, get with the program, everybody. Get with the program. Getting you with the program, let's quickly tell you, it is New Zealand that has beaten Australia in the first game of the Super 12s here in this 2022 World Cup, and they're off the mark now. So they've picked up the points. They've got a big vitamin boost injection for their net run rate as well.
Yeah, and a lot of dangerous things happen because remember, this is a group that has quite a few very good teams around.
Correct.
No, this is
and that's a good cue. Let's show the groups again.
Yeah, I think
because today Group 1 is playing 2 games.
It's going to be very interesting because this really sets the cat among the pigeons. Because what happens now is it actually scares England also.
Yeah.
Because the group is not going to plan. So what happens now is that England is wondering that now they need to. If Australia is going to come back and go hard at everyone else, they're in trouble. So in a very funny way, England, it doesn't always suit England. What England would like is Australia win, they win, and they stay clear of everyone else.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen right now.
Yeah, because you know that Australia is not going to have one of these days again. That's not what Australia does. That's not what defending champions do. So they're not going to have another one of these days again. So yeah, it does become interesting. But that only happens if England beat Afghanistan in their first game. Hang on.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, we can't count that as a given because there's a few home advantage boys in this Afghanistan team because they've been playing the Big Bash and they've been playing a lot of the Big Bash. So they know these conditions really well. And, that's what it's about when it comes to spin, especially. Harsha, isn't that the most important thing for spinners? If you just know that ground, you know the dimensions, you know the surface, you know how it goes through the day.
Focus on the fourth name who doesn't get a game for Afghanistan and might get a game in most other countries. Qais Ahmed, economy of 7.67. Rashid Khan is, of course, the boss of all-time greats of T20 cricket. But Nabi plays better in this country than he does in most other parts of the world. Yeah. And Mujib is fantastic. Again, economy of 6.21, given that he bowls a lot in the power play. So here's something interesting. England will be up against three spinners, but three completely different kinds of spinners, two of whom are perfectly happy bowling in the power play. And I think England need a lot of runs. One of the reasons you like Afghanistan is for a long time you said yes, Rashid, and you said Nabi, but now slowly you're saying, oh, this Gurbaz is a good player, this Ibrahim Zadran is a good player, Najibullah Zadran has become a good player, the batting has started to grow. And because the batting has started to grow, you started liking Afghanistan even more. But England have done something interesting. What have England done? They've chosen to field, haven't they?
Yes, they've won the toss and they decided to chase, which is actually strange because unlike test matches where they're the boss with baseball of chasing, you set a target of 1,000 runs in the fourth innings and you're like, England go, okay, sure, can we do it before lunch? Maybe we'll do it before tea. But
no, they chase, Gaurav. They chase in test match cricket after giving it up for the first 3 days.
Yeah.
They want to check if it's the same prime minister on day 4 as there is on day 1. And then they decide whether to go for it or no.
Should we remain or should we leave, right? That's what they decide.
Yeah, no.
Day 4.
I think that's the thing that now with England, what you've got to do is what they did with the last prime minister, which is one enterprising group of people put a lettuce and put this thing and said, who lasts more, the lettuce or the prime minister? So if the England innings lasts more than a lettuce, then they're doing well by their national standards at this point in time. But they really need a win. Yeah. At this point, if any country needs a win, it's England, you have to say.
Yeah, they really do need a win. Can they do it today against Afghanistan? Well, you know that how how cricket goes. People always kind of cheering and clapping for the underdog. And in India, we have a basic, more than a basic affinity for the Afghanistan team. So Indian fans definitely rooting for Afghanistan. In fact, their home ground was in Dehradun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were hosting all their home games in Dehradun.
Dehradun and Greater Noida, they played a lot of matches. Lucknow, Dehradun, Greater Noida, they probably played much more often than the Indian team has played.
Wow, we took them to Greater Noida also.
I know, it's a foreign country for most people in Delhi. I know it's a foreign
country. Tell me one thing, why is there a Greater Noida but not a Greater Gurgaon?
So because Gurgaon is anyway greater.
It is greatest.
Gurgaon is greatest. That's why. It is the
so in fact, Noida is also called Noida because it's a new
Okhla Industrial Development Area. That's what it's called. Don't say to us that we don't tell you about anything else except cricket.
Oida before.
Is what?
It used to be Oida before.
Yeah, it was Oida. Now it's Noida. And now it's Ganoida because there's Greater Noida, right? So it's Ganoida. But actually the greater, you guys don't understand, it's actually Grater, like a cheese grater, because that's what it does to your spirit. Stop it now. Stop it. Okay? Look at England. They're going to be bowling. Afghanistan's going to be batting first. Have you got the teams ready? Have you got the teams? You've got your app. How have you not got your phone open?
I've got my phone.
Yes, so come on, tell us.
But I can't see the show.
Joy, show us your phone. Joy, show us your phone. Joy, show us your phone.
Are you going to buy me a new one? Diwali's around the corner.
Diwali's around the corner.
What's happening on it?
Yeah, show us. Come on, open the Cricbuzz app. Tell us what the teams are.
The Cricbuzz app is on.
Of course it is. Of course.
But the teams. You wanted the teams.
So by the way, I just want to tell Harsha that Harry, Brook and Livingston both are playing. So they found a way to do that. Yeah, they've got 8 batters that are playing. So there you go.
Harry. Joss Butler, Alex Hales, David Malan, Ben Stokes, Harry Brook, Moeen Ali, Liam Livingston, Sam Curran, Chris Wokes, Adil Rashid, Mahmood. That's quite a side. That's quite a terrific side.
Batting options, bowling options. What's going on, Harsha? What's going on here? What is it?
I mean, Mark Wood will come in at 10. Adil Rashid's got first class runs. He's got ODI runs. He'll bat at number 11. Chris Wokes has got hundreds. He's got a few hundred.
Correct.
This side is just saying, I don't care how many you score against us, we will score more than you.
Yeah.
Because we will bat all the way down. This lineup is a license to everybody down the line to just go for it.
Yeah.
Including David Malan. They made a lot of fun of David Malan, but I think he's emerged as the key over there. And this side is built around Ben Stokes bowling. So they've said, right, we'll play 4 bowlers. I mean, Sam Curran is not always a 4-over bank, but he's bowling very, very well at the moment. Chris Wokes will bowl at one stage of the innings. Mark Wood will bowl in the middle. They still need someone to bowl with Sam Curran at the back end. I think this team is susceptible for when it comes to death bowling. But Ben Stokes will have to play that role. They'll just say, sorry, we'll just score more runs than we'll score more runs than you, come what may. I think that's the DNA of this side.
But mind you, this is not a side that has chased well in the recent past.
Yeah.
If you look at the record, they've been front runners. They've always set the game up and done it. So it's very surprising that the fact. Look at that. I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, 8-2. I mean, that record and chasing is 2-8. They've chosen to chase out here.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they want to play this, or is this a new start for them? What are they thinking? Because
they're obviously thinking this is a slightly easier game for them, because that's why they're doing their what they find tougher. They've chosen to do that now because they're like, we have to make sure that we plug this hole if we can when we come up against Australia and New Zealand, and perhaps the big games like the semi or the final. That's what they're thinking, perhaps.
But it's a very dangerous stat, because if you look at it, this is Rashid Khan's home ground.
Correct.
Adelaide is Rashid Khan's home ground. I mean, this is the pitch he knows the best. So
no, they're playing at Perth today.
Sorry, they're playing at Perth.
Yeah, they're playing at Perth today. But again, for spinners, it's handy because the side boundaries are really big, right?
Yeah.
Right, Harsha? The side boundaries are quite...
It's a huge ground. It's a huge ground. I got lost going round and round and round last time I was there. It's that big. It's a colossal ground.
Yeah, so, I mean, you see that, of course, there is an advantage for the spinners over there. We'll see Afghanistan's team and figure out who are they playing. Sir, will you do the...
Yeah, absolutely. Afghanistan.
Why you put your phone away? You thought what the work is done?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Hazratullah Zazai, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Why do you guys bully me? Ibrahim Zadran, Usman Ghani, Najibullah.
He's not used to having his phone silent.
Nabi, Umar Zai, Rashid Khan, Mujib, of course, Farid Ahmed Malik, and Fazal Haq Faruqi, who for me is one of their keys.
Faruqi is good, but there's a few changes here from the Asia Cup 11, isn't it?
There is.
There's a few changes that they've made here.
Some Farid Malik.
Yeah.
Some Farid Malik and Usman Ghani. Two changes.
Yeah.
We didn't see much of either Usman Ghani or Farid Malik.
Yeah.
And there's no Kareem Jannat.
Kareem Jannat is not playing.
How can they play without Kareem Jannat?
Well,
You didn't know whether Kareem Jannat was a fast bowler or a big hitter.
Yeah.
Sometimes he was both and sometimes he was neither, but I think they've done away with it.
Yeah.
But I think that Usman Ghani down the middle will have a big role to play. Ibrahim Zadran has been so impressive in that Asia Cup. Then Najibullah Zadran can finish. He's a very, very powerful hitter. And because they've got Azmatullah Omar Zai, if you remember in the Asia Cup, he used to bowl 1 over.
Yeah, that's right.
And they've allowed Rashid Khan to go below.
And quick. And he used to bowl that 1 over quick. But he would only bowl the 1 over. I think that was his contract there, that he would just bowl 1 over in every match. And he'd bowl that 1 over quite quick. And sometimes the ball would be on the stump. Sometimes it would be way off. But he'd bowl that 1 over. But this...
Because the contract didn't say where he should bowl. It said he must bowl 1
That's
over.
right. And it didn't say that it has to be only 6 balls. You could bowl 10 or 12. You could just keep going. But yeah, we're talking about their spinners. I mean, let's talk about their batting right now, because they're going to be batting first. They obviously need a lot more coming in from... Well, actually, they have over the last year, they've got stuff from their opener. So they get it from one. Yeah, there was Zazai, then there was Gurbaz. If they can just get both going, these both are really destructive batters, Joy. If they can get both going in one game, that really makes a lot of breathing room for their middle order.
Absolutely. And look, Zadran is their Kane Williamson, their sort of steady guy, the guy everyone else is supposed to
Which Zadran?
Yeah. Ibrahim Zadran.
Yeah,
Ibrahim Zadran.
Just checking.
With Zadran.
Naughty.
So yeah, so that's the thing that they need to get going. I mean, both of them, Zazai I like, but Gurbaz especially. I mean, that Asia Cup, some of the innings that he played were absolutely spectacular. He's a big hitter. The only thing is, remember, big hitters, how big a hitter is you are is only proven on Australian grounds.
Correct, yeah.
Till you're playing in UAE, India, big hitter, it all sounds good. Everyone's a big hitter there.
Yeah.
Come to Australia, now we'll figure out who hits the ball really long enough.
Yeah, that's right, because there is really a big ground. But Harsha, the reason why I say both the openers, because these are the only two who have a strike rate over 130. Everybody else in that middle order is kind of struggling with that strike rate, and that a 120 strike rate is not good enough against this England lineup or anybody in this World Cup.
Look, if the ball moves, Sam Curran will move the ball. Chris Woakes will definitely move the ball. The fact that they've played Chris Woakes, even though there was a bit of an injury cloud over him, means they believe that ball will move in Perth. Remember, it might be 10 o'clock for me in Melbourne. It's still 7 o'clock there, so it's dusk. It might move around. There's a 3-hour time difference between Perth and Melbourne.
Yeah.
If the ball moves around, I've seen Zazai bat. Zazai picks the line of the ball and he hits through the line. If the ball starts to move, then they might have a problem in that top order. And that's why Gurbaz becomes more important. I think he's the more pedigreed player. I hope he doesn't see himself as a slogger. That is Hazratullah Zazai's role. But Joy is right about Ibrahim Zadran. I think his job is to control the innings. And if he puts a good partnership, then Najib Zadran will come and score the runs. But Joy's assignment in this mid-overs is to create a team of 11 Zadran for Afghanistan.
Can be done.
No, I can do 11 Patels for New Zealand. Why can't I do 11 Zadrans?
That's true. You can do 11 Patels in New Zealand. That's right. You can do 11 Patels.
So apparently there was a match played, I think it's third division match or something in Bradford in UK, where 22 players played, all were Patels, both sides.
And they were, I think, the same extended family, basically. And they ran the same motel? No, that was in the US.
That's in the US.
Yeah? Here, what were they running?
God knows.
Just fish and chips or something? It's not fish and
No,
chips.
not
They're not running
no,
fish and chips.
no.
For sure.
Easy there.
No, but one sec, I'll tell you. Parthiv, our Patel, we have a Patel here as well, because you all must. We have Parthiv here, and he'll tell you, if there's good money in it, they'll run a fish and chip as well.
Why not?
Yeah, you're selling it, right? You're selling it. You can do it. What is Afghanistan? What is Afghanistan looking to sell today? Are they looking at a score? Are they looking at the England batting lineup, Harsha, and saying, oh my God, we are worried. If we don't get 180, we're finished. Because that is something that can finish you even before a ball is bowled.
It's interesting who is going to be doing the talking when it comes to bowling. And I think it's going to be Rashid Khan for two reasons. He's by far the most accomplished of all the bowlers there. And he doesn't mind talking. So I think he'll be doing the talking. And he'll be saying, leave Butler to me. He's got a fantastic head-to-head record against one of the most destructive players in the history of T20 cricket. Yeah. He's got a great record against him. The only thing is, by the time Rashid comes on to bowl, Butler's probably already got 30-40. So we're talking about Afghanistan. I think we're talking up Afghanistan, given what happened today between New Zealand and Australia. But I think if both teams play to par, then England should win this comfortably. They've got far too much firepower in that side. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I won't be surprised if the ball is moving around if they nip out 2 or 3 wickets early.
Yeah,
but Afghanistan will have to be careful. Maybe, from far away here, we don't know exactly how that track's going to behave. But the more pace and bounce there is, the more Afghanistan will struggle. That's my gut feel.
Yeah, and obviously they've got some good pedigree on the other side because England, Chris Woakes, if the ball moves, Chris Woakes, you've seen him do it in Test cricket, you've seen him do it in England all the time. He really can get the ball on a string sometimes, can't he?
Absolutely. Chris Woakes and Sam Curran are the key. And they, in conditions like this, we didn't see the ball moving at all in this match in the first innings, which everyone expected the ball to move, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Now my
phone is on!
It's an alarm. It was telling me 4 o'clock is...
And I heard it here! Joy, your phone travels across continents.
I tell you, now you can hear it in Australia as well.
And then he asks us why we're bullying him. We don't have to bully him. He bullies himself.
But why are you setting an alarm? He's got to remember to come on the program.
I'll tell you.
I have no idea.
I just want to tell Joy, don't worry. I'm here to wake you up. That's one of my duties. I'll wake you up. I'll wake you up. I'll feed you. What is this?
Yeah,
Am I a legal guardian?
Yeah. Wait. I didn't get my toffees today.
That's right. Do coffee laiye sir ke liye, please. Yes, you can switch your alarm off. The show has begun. Okay. Yes, it has begun. Yes, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. So I'm saying the thing about it is that in the first match that we saw, the ball didn't swing at all.
Nothing in Sydney.
No, it didn't swing at all.
Yeah.
See, Australia, you can always hit through the line because the pitches will be true. So the question is, if there is zero swing and the batsmen get off to a start, Afghanistan get off to a start, they have a chance. That's their only chance.
The good power play. A good power play is their only chance.
Power play is their only chance. I think they will get some use. They will get some 30s, 40s useful runs in the end. Nabi Wabi might give it to them. But they don't have those guys who can, except for Zadran, those 15 over batsmen, 17 over batsmen, they don't have those kind of, they don't have 3-4 of those. And you need 3-4 of those because, everyone's not going to get off every time.
Yeah.
So they really need that opening partnership and they need not to lose wickets early.
I think the only, perhaps, sorry, Harsha.
Yeah, Joy talked to the ball moving, and it's not moved a lot. I remember talking to Trent Bolt once, and he said, just look at it as long as you can because it's going to stop moving very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But if the ball stops moving, there's one bowler who doesn't care really if the ball moves or no. He's bowled quicker than anybody else this year in T20 cricket, and that's Mark Wood. And it's absolutely critical. He's the key bowler for England because he's the one who can dominate the middle overs and give you wickets in the middle overs with pace.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see how his rhythm is. If he's clocking those 145s and 147s and 148s regularly, I'd like to see how the Afghanistan sort of top middle order stands up to him.
Yeah, for England, of course, I have to say, Harsha, you had, before the tournament began, you picked out Reece Topley as one of your key performers. He is injured now, so England fans would like a refund first. So if you could just help them.
But I remind you, Reece Topley, I have to tell you this story.
Yeah.
So Reece Topley got injured before the World Cup, went out an ankle injury. But his dad had his dad, Don Topley, also played for Sussex and he was a well-known county cricketer. He had perhaps the most bizarre injuries. So I was going through a list of bizarre injuries given what happened to Joss English.
Yeah.
So Reece Topley's dad was a postman.
Yeah.
Okay? And he went to put a letter inside and there was some sort of a mechanized trap that caught his hand and broke his fingers and he couldn't play for 3 months for his county.
What?
Yeah. Seriously. In bizarre injuries in world cricket, that's my favorite right now. Take Jofra Archer's fish tank, take all those. And there's one more, which I think was it Ted Dexter? Ted Dexter got hit by a car, which was a big injury. The only problem was it was his own car and he was pushing it.
What?
Yeah, it was a Jaguar. Yeah, it's true. Go read it up, but crazy.
Did he have a dexterity issue? Is that what it was? Harsha, what is the bizarrest injury you have seen? You've heard of?
No, I'm not competing with Joy on
Compete
this.
with those, you're right. These are tough ones to compete with.
Hit by a car, hit by your own car when you're pushing it. What is it?
But what happened? Did he try to push it uphill?
I think he pushed it and it went back or something and it trapped his leg and he had a, fracture.
Like Sharat Kamal's ghost serve in table tennis, right? How he plays the ghost serve where it bounces his side, the other side, and then it comes back to his side. So that's what Ted Dexter pushed his car and it came back towards him. This car push is directed by Christopher Nolan. Just come right back at you. All right, we can't beat that. But restop. But England's been having injury problems. Look at the team that they're playing. Probably the only disadvantage for England is that a lot of their players are coming back, right, from injury. So there you go. Joss Buttler, calf. Chris Jordan, finger. Liam Livingstone, ankle. Chris Woakes, knee. Mark Wood, elbow. Tymal Mills, toe. None of these were caused by a post box or a car. We can safely tell you that. But they have missed. And all these injuries have made them miss a lot of stuff, especially for their captain, Harsha. That will be an area of concern for them.
Just remember, Joss Buttler went to Pakistan. There were 7 games that they played in Pakistan. He didn't play a single one of those.
Yeah.
So obviously that injury was hurting. They didn't want to take a chance. But luckily for them, he came back and had one of his typical Buttler innings in one of the warm-up games. So he seems to be all right. You asked me about Reece Topley. The reason I mentioned Reece Topley was I think they have an issue with death bowling. Luckily, Sam Curran has done well so far. But Reece Topley was giving them those 2 overs at the start, maybe 1 over at the start, 1 in the middle, 2 at the back. But he was such a big part of their performance. Now there's no Reece Topley. They've substituted him with Chris Woakes. And I think their death bowling, they're a little vulnerable. That's the reason I said Reece Topley was important. The reason I laughed when he went to Reece Topley was I thought you were turning up and saying, I had said Australia was favourites to win the title and look what happened.
No, just one game in, sir. Just one game. There is, as they say, Delhi is far. Not from Greater Noida. Delhi is far. Delhi is far from Greater Noida as well. Delhi is very far from Greater Noida. That is true, though. But we will...
As the crow flies or as Joy's wheels go?
As depends if Joy's pushing the car or he's driving it. Right?
Don't push.
Don't push.
Don't push.
No, that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. Afghanistan playing, the big leagues. It's a team that is, qualified. They're qualified. Whereas you thought people like Sri Lanka, West Indies, they had to play qualifiers. So Afghanistan's qualified. But now they're playing this big league. They're playing big boys, playing Super 12s. Our advice of the day, which I want to ask both Joy and Harsha, is what is the tip, what is the advice, what is the insight you'd like to give to Afghanistan as they compete against more seasoned teams at this level?
See, I think their big problem is the fact that their bowling is slightly one-dimensional because you have more spinners, but it's more sorted because they have international experience. Okay, the problem with them is that their batsmen don't get the same chance in leagues abroad that their bowlers do, which means that their batting looks undercooked.
Okay.
And if you've got to do it, and their big problem is they're not playing domestic cricket at all. I mean, they have very little domestic cricket. Therefore, your opportunity to try and build new batsmen, get new batsmen into the system is not happening. If they don't build a significant batting presence, they'll have wasted perhaps a generation of bowlers, which is very rare. I mean, to get guys like Nabi, Mujib and Rashid at the same time, that quality at the same time is very difficult. So I would say just find 2-3 batsmen and back them with everything you have.
Harsha?
Yeah, I think Ibrahim Zadran is the first step there. In 50 overs cricket, they've got people like Hashmatullah Shahidi, who's also who sort of controls the batting for them in the 50-over game. I don't think they should set themselves a target because the way that they play, they're bound to be aggressive. They're bound to play shots, whether it is Gurbaz at the top, whether it is Najibullah Zadran below. And I think they've got to tell themselves, listen, if we can get 150, 160, without saying we must get 150, 160, but if we can get there, then maybe we have the bowlers to cause trouble. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, really England should not be troubled too much by Afghanistan. But I don't think Afghanistan would mind batting first and then say, okay, maybe Mujib gets one early, someone else gets one early. And don't forget this Fazalak Farooqi is a pretty good bowler. So I think if you left it to Afghanistan, and Nabi said that at the toss, I think they would have liked to bat first. So Butler's actually given Afghanistan what they wanted. Maybe he's testing himself, as Joyce said right at the start, by chasing.
He said, actually.
Yeah, maybe they're just testing themselves a bit. We said it. We. It is we over here. There is no I in Cricbuzz.
Okay.
No.
Okay, rewind that.
Pull the car back. Like that, Dexter. Just pull it back. All right. There is no I in Cricbuzz. There is one I in Cricbuzz. There is no I in Gaurav Kapur. Joy, Bhattacharya,
There is no
and Harsha Bhogle.
Oh, yes! Well done.
There is no I in us three. So there you go. All right. But there is one.
No, there is one in Joy's name. Joy Bhattacharjya.
No, it's JYA.
It starts with J. No.
No, JYA. No, I in
No, sir, I know. I've read his name on Twitter, sir. It's very complicated. I've tried to spell it once or twice also and given up halfway.
I've also given up halfway. Exam time I have to give up halfway because, by the time I finished my name, why do you think they give Joy as a first name?
Yeah.
Good Bengalis have names like Joy Obroto, Tathagato.
Yeah.
But with Bhattacharya to follow, my father just took pity on me.
I just want to call you Joy Toto. All right. So there is one place where we get very individualistic, which is when we're trying to guess the score. Afghanistan batting first, of course. Let's guess the score. We're going to start first with Joy Bato. What is your guess?
That's about just like you pronounced my name. I told you the score. No, okay, fine. 154.
154. Sir, you?
145.
145. So then I'll go with 162.
It's another alarm.
162. Another alarm. Sir, how many times do you need to wake up?
How many
times do you need to wake up?
I have a feeling.
Sorry. This alarm is for the show to end. Sorry. This alarm is for the show to end. I should have closed the show by now. This one's on me.
Joy, can you send an alarm for my phone from there?
No, I just think, this is just an alarm. This is a message to England.
Oh, this is a message to England, which you are getting. Okay, all right.
Watch out.
Okay, great. Okay, fine. Okay, excellent. All right, so that's time for us to go. The alarm has told us that. We're going to see you. There's another alarm that will go off in 40 minutes. You can put that on as well. That's when we'll see you on Cricbuzz Combox. So that's when we'll come next. This was Cricbuzz Live. A big thank you to Harsha Bhogle, Joy Bhattacharya and Gaurav Kapur from We. No, I. We. Bye.